Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the Ukraine war, and I want to show you the chart of President Zelensky's, and we will compare his chart to Vladimir Putin, which we've done before, but now things are getting pretty much, if I want to say, escalated according to what I'm seeing in the astrology. So first let's put up President Zelensky's chart. And looking at his chart, the one thing I want you to notice is where his natal moon is. It sits at 24 degrees of Cancer. Why is that so crucial? It is huge because Saturn in October is stationing around October 22nd, 24th. Saturn is standing still at 24 degrees of Capricorn. Now, Saturn has gone backwards. It has retrograded back into Capricorn, and it's standing still, which means it's 10 times more powerful at that point of 24 degrees of Capricorn. And of course, that exactly opposes Zelensky's natal moon. On top of that, we have transiting Uranus, which has been squaring Saturn in the sky around 23, 24 degrees of Aries. So you see there is this, what we call a T-square going on with Zelensky's natal moon. This is critical. It is not good for President Zelensky at all. He's in trouble with this dire square exactly aspecting his natal moon. And you know, if we look at where his moon is placed, it's in Cancer with Mars. Mars can be the planet of war. So natally has a Mars-Moon conjunction in Cancer, being aspected by Saturn and Uranus. Now, let's take a moment and put up Vladimir Putin's chart. Now, Putin, there's been talk that possibly we don't know what time he's born. That's okay. If we have the day right, if you'll look at this chart, let's just assume it is the correct chart. Because if it is, then Saturn sitting at 24 degrees and Uranus around 24 degrees is aspecting his natal Rahu, which sits within 3-degree range at 26 degrees of Capricorn. And his K2 sits at 26 degrees of Cancer. So in other words, Putin's K2 sits on Zelensky's natal moon. That is huge. What is K2? K2 is losses, and it's sitting on the moon. They are karmically tied. I want you to know this, regardless of what side is saying what or whatever, but they are karmically tied. When you have Rahu or K2 from one person's chart affecting someone else's natal planets, and the moon being the most personal, you know there's something up. There is something up that they had to come together and work things out or fight things out, whatever it may be. This does not look good for either of them, actually. Now, if you'll notice, where is Putin's Jupiter? His Jupiter sits right there at 26 degrees, exactly squaring his Rahu and K2, but it is actually where transiting Uranus is transiting to cross over his natal Jupiter, which is if you want to use Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter sits at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu. Exactly. And the transit of Uranus is hitting it and Saturn squaring it. This means that during this time, between now and the end of the year, we have got a major crisis. Here's what I think. And when you look at Putin's chart, he has Saturn, Sun, Neptune, and Mercury all together in the sign of Virgo. And this is critical as well because we do have the transit of Mars going retrograde will be aspecting Virgo while Mars is transiting in Gemini. But Mars, as it's transiting retrograde, is going back into the sign of Taurus, where Putin's natal moon sits. So Mars going over his moon, and it's going to be stationing when Mars turns direct in December on his natal moon. Mars is anger, it's war, it's violence. And here's what I think, just surmising how their charts are tied up and how difficult this looks. I don't think you can tell a man like Putin that he's losing the war. Because what will happen is he brings out his big guns, and we know what that is. We know what he is capable of doing. He's threatened it, and those are not idle threats because he's not going to go down. He's not going to surrender. Never. Not somebody with this type of makeup in their chart. His moon's in Taurus. Taurus does not give up. It is bullheaded. It is going to go for the fight. And transit of Mars retrograde going close to his moon, he is not going to give up. He'd rather go down than give up completely. So we're going to see a fight to the end. That's what I see. To the end of, I don't know which world leader is going to go down, but as far as I'm concerned, no one wins a war. And this is going to escalate to an extreme. You'll see, especially the month of October, November, and by December, it's all done. Okay, so that's what the astrology is saying, particularly and mainly because of Saturn. Saturn station square Uranus. I've been saying this for a long time. This will cause a crisis, and this is a world crisis. So with that, I'd like to close. Remember, if you would like more information on me, if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, or if you want to sign up for my free newsletter, go to my website. You will get all of my predictions, dates, and times delivered free to your email address. Go to galacticcenter.org. And while you're there, check out my new magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights. You will get amazing information from some of the top Vedic astrologers in the world. So you won't want to miss the October issue. Go to galacticcenter.org. And remember, if you want to learn Vedic astrology with me, go to my university website, universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.